Hello YouTube and welcome to Fast Road Bike channel. This video is about, is it worth getting an 1132 cassette or not? So the question is, up the hill, would the 1132 cassette be faster than an 1128 cassette? And to answer this question, you've got to understand how strong you are up a hill, what percentage you're riding in terms of gradient. And the ultimate aim is to have a cassette that would give you the right resistance up the hill without you spinning too much. So you're still having that resistance, your legs are working, and you're gaining speed. There is no point of spinning a low gear and you're not going fast enough. The larger the gear that you can spin, the faster you can go. The other aim would also to be able to spin a gear that if you are pacing yourself, your legs are not going to get tired sooner than when you want. Because if you spinning a hard gear and your legs get tired in the middle of the hill, you're probably gonna be struggling to the top. So a lot of people keep talking about spinning and high cadence, but you can only do high cadence if you are in the right gear. With that 1128 cassette, you can hit gradient where you end up grinding anyway. So this is when you need an 1132 cassette. But again, you're not supposed to be spinning a high cadence and there is no resistance in the pedals, because that is absolutely pointless. So choosing the right gear is the right thing. It depends on how steep the gradient is and how strong your legs are and how fit you are. So during this ride I was actually pacing myself. We are approaching a steep long hill. It kicks up to 12-13% and it stays on for some time on 7-8-9%, which quite a work if you've only got 1128. But because I've got an 1132 and I thought I'm gonna see what difference that make, I'm able to pace myself, and every time we hit a gradient I've still got the legs, and you can see how much distance I'm making on the rider behind me. That is actually Malik out with me on a ride on a nice sunny day. But I'm also able to pass riders. They are in their lowest gear. I am most probably on the 28 cog. When it kicks up again, I go on the 32 to keep my legs fresh, but I'm still working. My legs are still working. So approaching now a gradient that kicks up to 12%, and Malik is no longer in the picture. I've just dropped him. He's struggling behind me. He's got a 10 speed cassette. He's probably on a 28 on the back. and he's got a compact chain ring, so he's actually got a quite a low gear anyway. So we are in at 12% now, 11%, and I'm still spinning nicely. Still the legs working, but I'm not tiring them. So when the gradient goes easier, I'm able to drop 2-3 gears and I'm still having the legs to push, rather than killing my legs up to the top and then I'm trying to rest and I'm not maintaining speed or gaining more speed or maintaining momentum. So that gradient starts dropping and I'm able to keep pushing. And at this point I decided to slow down and stop and wait for Malik. And here he comes 2 minutes later, and then we just carry on. Start picking up speed, then doing just over 30k on the flat, and then I'll catch up with him, and then on the flat we're just pacing ourselves, ready for the next uphill, which is gonna be steep but longer as well. So we're not killing our legs on the flat to keep our legs fresh. And we'll start kicking up again here. And you can see him trying to push the gears, and I'm just cruising and spinning. And he's just going now. That's it. He's just gonna go on his own pace. He won't keep up anymore. And that's what happens when you're trying to spin a harder gear. You're just tiring your legs and not pacing yourself right. And this is when an 1132 cassette would help, because you're always spinning but you're not killing your legs. That's him now gone behind me. I won't be able to see him until the next traffic light. He's gonna catch up, but then the same will happen again. Gradient started kicking up 6, 7, 8%, and it will stay like that. Go up to 12 and 13, 14, 15, 16%, but most of the time it's going to be around the 10%. So he's just going to lose me again, and I will have to wait for him at the top. And I'm not doing a fast speed of 10% or so. I'm still doing 15, 16, 17k an hour. But it's all about keeping my legs fresh and pacing myself, and certainly that 1132 has helped me doing this on that day. So I'm maintaining a good speed but keeping my legs fresh all the time. And it's after this junction here that it kicks up and I'm gone. I'll see him up to the top. So I'm just gonna go through the setup that I have. I've got the SRAM Red E-Tap with a rear make short cage, but I still managed to get the 1132 cassette. I've got a mid compact on the front, 5036 chainring, and I can only get the 32 cog on the back if I'm in the small ring. I will not be able to get the 32 cog with the front big ring at all. I can get the front big ring with the 28 cog on the back, but not the 32. So I will always have to make sure I'm in the small chain ring. So this is the setup I have, and it works fine. Just got to be mindful of what gears I am in. The SRAM Red doesn't do long cages, and I don't want to change the make anyway, so it works that way. And in a few seconds I'll be passing the first rider. He's on 1128 and he starts pushing, trying to keep the wheel, I think, but I'm just going cruising. Not sure if I was on the 32 or the 28, but the gradient is 7, 8, 9%. Possibly I was on the 28, but my legs are fresh. Another advantage of the 1132 cassette is you can have a 28 teeth cog, but it's only number 10 in the cassette, and it's not the biggest cog, which means when you have the big ring with the 28 cog, you're not crossing the chain from the biggest to the biggest, which is very good, and it's easier on the chain, but you still have a low gear. This is the second rider that I've passed. He's spinning nicely, but I'm able to push harder gear, keep higher speed when the gradient eases a bit. And now the gap is getting bigger, and when I get to the top and wait for Malik, he would be about 2 minutes behind me. His mate is right in front of me actually, and I was closing the gap between me and him, but I never caught him because it was quite a big gap. So gradient kicks up to 19%. I'm still maintaining a good speed, not too bad. I wouldn't be able to maintain this speed with that 1128. So 15 kilometers an hour, probably be down to 12 or 11 if I was at 28. Doesn't stay at 19% for long, it goes down, but legs are still fresh. So this is the last push where it kicks up to 10%, stays for around that 10%, 7, 8, 9, 10 for some time before we get to the top. So I hope this helped you making a decision on whether to get an 1132 cassette or stick to the 1128. As I mentioned, it depends how strong you are up the hill and how steep the hills around the areas to ride. 1132 will definitely come handy at some point, but that is my take on it. I've put it on now and I will use it when I need it, as long as I always have that little bit of resistance, which means I'm spinning but I'm still pushing and maintaining good speed, not spinning the pedals without going forward, because you can spin and stand still. So that is the most important thing. It is handy, it is good to have, it is good for pacing. So I hope this video was informative and will help you to make a decision. Stay tuned, like and subscribe for future videos from Fast Road Bike.
Here it is now.
Finally, well done. It's a bit sharp, isn't it? It is a bit sharp.
Downhill from here.
I wouldn't really believe that.
See, Malik has made it.
Finally! Yeah. So longer.
Downhill from here.
Maybe.